Hello, everyone. I'm Lucy, and this is Bailey, and we are two of your student leaders. And we're here today to talk to you a little bit about the Students' Union. So, what is an SU? We are independent from the university, and we are here for students to do anything for students. We are led by students. They are the 5 people you see in front of you, and we are student leaders. We are democratically elected across a campus-wide election where you see people running around for a week and a half, going into lectures, doing shout-outs, asking for votes, often dressed in weird costumes or t-shirts with their names and faces on. And we are here to be the bridge between students and the Students' Union and ensure that everything we do is done with you in mind. So we are here to make your experience in Lincoln the best it can be. And as I said, we do everything with you in mind, even down to our venues. Every pound you spend in our venues goes into sports and societies and the student experience. But we're here to listen to you. And if there's anything you want changing, we will do our best to do that. So who are we? I'm Lucy. I'm your Vice President Wellbeing and Community, and I am here to ensure that you feel supported in your wellbeing and to make sure you feel like we're a community both on campus and within the wider Lincoln community. We have Amina, who is our Vice President International. She works with all of our international students to ensure they feel integrated, but also with our home students to ensure that we can share cultures and form those connections between international and home students. We have Georgia, who is our Vice President Education and also our lead officer. Georgia and her team of reps are everything education. So if there's anything on your course that you want to feedback on, you can do that through Georgia's reps. And then Georgia works with the university to ensure that your course can be the best it can be for you. We have Abby, who's our Vice President Activities, and she works with all of our sports and societies. So anything extracurricular that you do, she will help with that. And then finally, we have Bailey, who's with me today, and she is our environmental queen. Anything to do with environment, she knows. She will help you with anything that you want to do that is eco-friendly. She's amazing. And she also supports our campaigns network, which is where all of our liberation officers sit. And you'll find out a little bit more about them later on.
So I'm going to just chat to you about representation. Basically, SUs were founded just to represent students. That's what we live and breathe for. So I'm just going to run through the different types of representation that we have. So academic representation, Lucy mentioned that our Vice President Education, Georgia, she has the rep system. So for the course that you are on, you should have 2 course reps, and then you will have a rep at school level as well, your school rep, and then you will have a college officer. So they all gather feedback from you. You can go to them at any time and tell them any academic feedback that you have, such as your lecture is too long, or you didn't particularly like that module, or this assessment's unfair, or I'm sure it won't be, but if it is, then just go to your reps and they feed up to Georgia, and then Georgia sits on committee meetings at the university and can take that feedback forward for you and get it sorted. So campaigns network, that is my remit and my love and passion. So in the campaigns network, you have 5 elected officers. So you have the LGBT plus officer, the women's officer, disabilities officer, environmental officer, and BAME officer. So these roles were cross campus elected, and they're just there to represent you guys, like all the different demographics of students, just to be there for you to give feedback to, and they can talk to you as well and run campaigns as well for like awareness and to make change on campus and in the community. So I look after those officers, but very, very exciting and a great opportunity for you guys to get involved in. So then there's the Wellbeing Network as well. That's Lucy's remit. So Lucy has just set up a brand new Wellbeing Network that covers community, but also all the 3 strands of health, so physical, mental and sexual health. So Lucy is our wellbeing queen and she is fabulous, and anything to do with wellbeing, that's her remit. And then you've got International Students Association, so that's Amina. So the ISA is basically there to bridge the gap for international students. So home students can join it, but also all international students are automatically enrolled. So they have a home sort of away from home and they can get involved with things on campus as well. So she runs things like the pen pal scheme, which is really, really good, which we'll talk to you about later. Then we have the PGSA. So Georgia has just set up the Postgraduate Students Association to give the PG students just a bit more of a voice and some identity on campus as well, because I think they need a little bit more of that. A lot of stuff seems to be quite undergrad focused, but PGs, you have a place to go, and then overall representation as well. So you have all 5 officers, but then you have all of your volunteer officers that we've mentioned as well. So we are literally here to just signpost you with where to go. So if you come to myself about an academic issue, I can take it straight to Georgia. Like whatever you need, just get in contact in any way, shape or form. And we can represent you.
So we have our advice centre, and as I said earlier, we are independent from the university, and that's really important because it means we can give independent and impartial advice. So we offer advice on 4 main areas. They are academic, finance, housing and welfare. Our advice centre are really good with everything, and they can hold your hand through any process and will ensure you feel supported. So in terms of academic, it could be anything from you need extenuating circumstances or an extension and they can help you with that, or to something like you don't know the best place to go to get help with your course and they can help signpost you. Finance, obviously, we want all of our students to thrive at Lincoln, but we do understand sometimes students fall under hardship. So they can help you access the hardship fund, or they can help you by giving you food bank parcels. In terms of housing, it's really exciting because this goes in line with our brand new housing accreditation scheme, which has just been set up. So they can offer you housing advice on anything. It can be with someone reading through your contract with you. It can be with helping you get maintenance issues sorted, or it can be helping you with a deposit protection scheme and ensuring you get your full deposit back. They can be with you from start to finish, which is really great. And then finally, welfare. So if you are struggling with anything, you can go to them and they will help signpost you to the best relevant service, whether that's our on-campus wellbeing centre, which is run by the university, or it's an external partner, and they will help you through that entire procedure.
So the sports societies and ACSOCs. So our Vice President Activities, Abby, who you can probably see in the bottom right-hand corner, she is wonderful and she overlooks all of the over 150 sports and societies for you to choose from. You can join sports and societies this year. Please don't feel like you can't. COVID hasn't ruined everything. It might be slightly different, but they are all still there for you. So there's loads and loads and loads and loads. You can get involved with unusual year competing. I'm sure at some point that will be allowed again, and just training. But to be honest, it's just great to be part of it for the social aspect as well, finding other people that are passionate about the things that you're passionate. So there's lots and lots of societies that are going to be meeting virtually for the first semester, and just meeting up and having that opportunity to interact with each other and still run really good virtual events. I know that the Campaigns Network are already doing that, and I know that societies will as well. So yeah, just please get involved in those. That's probably my top tip for people coming to university, is to find like-minded people. All my best friends came out of sports and societies, and it's where I first ever met Lucy. So yeah, just basically get involved. But if you have lots and lots of questions about those, which I'm sure you will, we can answer them at the end. There is a Slido thing for you to submit questions to and also comment, and we shall answer them at the end.
So if sports and societies aren't your thing, and the Campaigns Network and everything else we offer aren't your thing, we have lots of other opportunities for you. So if you started your Duke of Edinburgh Gold Award at college or sixth form, you can actually continue that. And we are one of the few universities in the country that allow this and support students in the Gold Award. We also have lots of volunteering opportunities. This is both on and off campus. So you can volunteer within the campus or you can volunteer within the local community. And actually, because of COVID, we've expanded this and we're doing online volunteering opportunities as well. We also offer work experience, which is fantastic. We know that that's a big thing for students, but we do also offer jobs. So we'll talk to you a little bit about our venues in a second. And basically, you can become a member of student staff at any of those venues, which is fantastic because They are really accommodating. If you have assessments due, you can speak to your manager about reducing hours. And if you are part of a sport or society and you have a particular meeting day, they will work to ensure that you can still go to those meetings and you won't be scheduled on for shifts at that time, which is fantastic. I myself was a member of student staff in my third year. I worked at the Bard and I loved it. We also have the pen pal scheme, which is part of Amina's ISA and is really good. It pairs current students with incoming international students and allows them to have someone that they know when they arrive, because obviously, while it's not nerve-wracking for any student going to university, international students are moving hours away from home across different time zones in a lot of cases, and it can be very daunting. So it means that they have someone that is already here that they can speak to. It also helps them learn a little bit about Lincoln and it allows that culture sharing. And all of this comes into the skills log, and skills log can be found on our website. And if you do anything, you can put it into the skills log and it will tell you what skills you've gained. And then when you graduate, you can use all of that information to build your CV.
So the Students' Union venues, we have 4 and they are all equally brilliant. But I am biased. So firstly, I'm going to talk about the Swan. Basically, that's our like on-campus pub. You can get really, really good food there. I know Georgia, our VPE, is really, really fond of the mozzarella and pesto paninis. I'm a mozzarella stick gal. I'm not sure what Lucy's favourite is, but I'm sure she will tell you. Yeah, so that's where you get food and meet up with friends. It's just a pub vibe, but very, very chill, very cool. And then you've got Towers, that's like the sports bar, and you can get the lineup there, which is our new menu, and it's amazing. Just a couple of things about the lineup because I find it so incredible. Everything on the menu, it's a brilliant menu, there's lots of stuff, but everything on the menu you can make vegan. Which I just think is brilliant. As an environmentalist, obviously you can still have whatever you want, but be thinking about the planet at the same time, or just if you're vegan, then that's great for you. But also all the meat that they do serve is all halal meat as well. So I just think it's incredibly a diverse menu, which is brilliant. And then you've got the barge, which Lucy just mentioned. She worked there in her third year. That is our boat on the Brayford. If you haven't been to the actual Brayford campus yet, you won't have seen it, but I'm sure you will when you get here. It's just a boat and it's our cocktail bar, and it's very, very cool. And Lucy makes the best cocktails. And then you have the engine shed as well. So that's where our larger scale events happen. So that's usually on a normal year where we'd have our club night on a Wednesday night called Quack, which is pretty legendary. But this year is going to be used for our welcome events, and then throughout the year as well for things like bingo, crazy golf, comedy nights, quizzes, lots of stuff still going on in there in the evening times and during the day when you're here for your welcome weeks. But then also it's going to be during the daytime a study space, extended study space for you guys. So there'll be lots of benches set up for you to work on, and you can get food ordered to your tables as well, which is really, really cool. So you can do that by downloading the Student Orders app, and that is absolutely essential for when you get here to have the Student Orders app, because you can order food from any of our venues to within 3 miles of campus as well. So you can send it to your house, you can send it to your accommodation block as long as it's within 3 miles of campus, and you can also use that to order food to your table when you're actually in any of our venues, and you get 10% discount if you're a student as well. So you need to make sure that you add Lincoln as your institution in your settings, and then you'll get discount as well as a student. But yeah, very, very exciting and lots to eat and get involved in. So that is the end of our sort of overview of things. Please do ask us questions. We're going to be sticking around for probably another half an hour to answer your questions, so please send them through. But there's all these ways of getting in contact with us as well. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, email us, or just WhatsApp us. You can just drop us a message or give us a ring. But everything to do with Lincoln SU can be found at lincolnsu.com as well. So please do follow all of your student leaders, but also just drop us any sort of message and we can signpost you as to where to go. We are now going to be joined by Ethan, who is in the campaigns network, and he is about to just help us answer some questions from you guys. So let's go.
Hello.
Hi, Ethan. So should I get right in and start with the questions?
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know who wants to take this, but we've had some questions about sports and societies. Does anyone want to tell people how they can join a sport and society?
I can answer that one. If you go on to the Students' Union website, there is a list of all sports and societies broken down into like categories. So if you go on there, have a little browse, and you can go in and read about what they're doing and what you can do with them, and then you just sign up on the SU website.
There's also the sports fair and the societies fair, campaigns fair, all sorts of fairs that are on the website at the moment as well. So you can flick through all the stalls of that. I did that action there for you. You can flick through all of the stalls and you can read what they're about as well, and live chat them at certain times. So just check what those times are, but you can just drop them a message on their social media anytime as well, just to find out what they're about.
Fab. So we've had another one asking if student reps are different to course reps. So Bailey, I don't know if you want to take that.
So student reps are just any student that represents other students. So it's sort of like an overall term, but there's lots and lots of reps. So when I talk about LGBT plus officer or BAME officer, all those officers are representatives, they're student representatives. And then so are course reps and school reps and college officers. They're all under that umbrella term of student reps. But yeah, they are all called different things. So they are the same. But also course rep is probably just a little bit more specific.
Yeah, they all sort of focus on different things as well. So all of Georgia's reps focus on your academic experience, whereas your campaigns network focus on your overall experience and making sure you're represented. And then the wellbeing network, while they're not called reps, they're called wellbeing champions. They are also still representatives, and they're there to represent you in your wellbeing. And then finally, ISA, we have our ISA officer, who is fantastic, and she's there to make sure all international students are represented. Okay, so we've got another one, and that's how do you take part in a Netflix watch party or virtual Twilight cafe?
Well, so the Netflix watch parties, so one of your student leaders will start the party going, and then there's a link that will be sent out on all of our social medias, on the main Lincoln SU social medias, I think, and that's where you can find the link to join those. And then the Twilight cafes, you can go on to lincolnsu.com/twilight. I think it's just /Twilight, but you can also just find them on like the list of events that we have on the website, and then it will tell you how to join them. Basically, you have to be added into a Teams group, but that's really easy to do. So just go on the website and you can find out.
Yeah, there's a Netflix watch party tonight with Amina, which will be very exciting. And then our Twilight cafes start on Friday, and they'll be led by a student leader. And I know we've all got some activities planned. So if you don't fancy coming out to one of our events, there is a way to get involved and stay in the comfort of your room in pajamas and have a chilled one.
Do we know what the Netflix watch party is tonight? What film it is?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I've already seen it advertised, and now I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I know Bailey's doing David Attenborough later on in the week. Very on brand for her and her environmental life. Yeah, so it's going to be very exciting. And then I think Bailey's looking to find what the film is tonight, so we'll carry on and you can jump in and let us know. We've had another question, which I think, Ethan, you could probably take, is what sports and societies do you recommend joining?
Oh, see, I didn't join any sports and societies in my first year, and it's probably one of my biggest regrets. So just find something that you like, either have done at home or want to try. Don't be put off if you've never done anything before. Like if you want to try a new sport, all sports and societies would take absolute beginners. So just go for it and try one you fancy.
I think that's really good. Yep, Bailey.
I just have the answer to the Netflix watch party question. It's My Neighbor Totoro, I think, and the link will be posted on the Facebook event at 7:50, and it will start at 8. Carry on.
Perfect. I think that's a really good point, Ethan. And also, all sports offer social sport on a Thursday, so you don't have to be a member. You can come along. It's £2 to take part in the session, but it means that you can try lots of different things if you fancy.
I did that. I did badminton social sport when I was here, and it was a lot of fun. I went with all my housemates, and it was like our activity of the week. It was really, really good. If you're part of a society, it's actually free to go as well. You can just do that.
I did social netball last year, and it was so much fun. Like, it's just fun to sort of make friends, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's good because obviously everyone's in the same boat and they're there to enjoy themselves and meet new people. So we've had another question, which is how do you become a member of student staff? As a former member of student staff, I don't mind taking this one. So there's a certain number of positions advertised every year, and there will still be some advertised later on this year, but due to COVID, there's a few less. And they'll be advertised on the website and on our social medias, and then you apply. There's an application form you go through, and you just apply using that, and then you go through the normal interview process if you're selected, and then you find out if you get the job or not, which is great. What is your favourite thing to do in Lincoln?
I love a nice walk up to the cathedral and the castle. The steep hill is a bit of a challenge sometimes, but like the views at the top are really nice. So I'd highly recommend that for any new students.
I like doing that as well. I like walking all the way around the cathedral so you get it from every angle. Because I don't think you realise how big it is. I keep saying when I go up there, I swear this gets bigger every time I come up here. But yeah, it's beautiful. And there's lots of green spaces as well around, obviously, environmental. I'm going to talk about fields. But there are really, really nice like parks and commons to go to as well, like West Common and South Common and the Arboretum, which is right near where I live. And it's really, really big and really, really pretty. And lots of little like bridges and duck ponds. It's very cute. So that's fun.
I like the walk, run or cycle, depending on what you fancy, down to the Pie Wipe. That's really nice. It's along the canal. And I also really like the Castle Wall walk. I think, yeah, it's you get a student discount and I think it's like under £5. And you can do the Castle Wall walk and there are little viewpoints all the way around it and you get to see all of Lincoln, which is really nice. And there's also historical facts the whole way around. So it's educational, but also just a bit of fun. And then the other one I really like is Bomber Command, which is past South Common, but it's a really nice place. It's a really nice walk to it up past through South Common, but also it's a good place just to sort of go, pay your respects and learn a little bit about the history.
There's also a lot of really great coffee shops. That was not related to what you just said, Luce, but think of it because you always go here. Coffee by the Arch, like right up the top, right next to the cathedral, is the most amazing coffee shop. But there is also other little coffee shops about like Angel Cafe, Cafe Aroma is a fave. But yeah, lots of little like quirky places.
200 degrees, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. I have to admit, I do go to Coffee by the Arch pretty much every weekend with my boyfriend. We get a nice coffee and a bacon sandwich, and it's our little weekend routine. It's really nice. But there are so many good places to eat in Lincoln and a lot of independence. So right now, near where Bailey and I live, there's a little Korean place which is run by a Korean couple called Bab To Go, and it's some of the best food I've ever had. But there are so many local independents, like Donuts is really good. I don't know if you guys have anywhere specific that you really like.
I order from the lineup quite a lot. That's sort of my favourite.
And I always go to Zzz's as well, which is really bad. But you know where I do go, which is really good. I've been there like a couple of times now, and I'm biased because my fiance works there. But it's a pub, like on Steep Hill, but it's like right at the top. So you earn your food. It's a pub called what?
Sorry. No, I thought you'd finish.
No, it's called the Widow Cullen's Well, and the food there is insane. It's a really cool pub. You should go there. It's odd because you can't use your phone in there. It's very like oldie worldy. It's like, no, you talk to each other, which I like. I appreciate that. But the food is amazing.
Do you know what else is good?
Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say Kine does the most amazing burgers as well. I think they're only open on the weekends, but like the best burger I've ever had.
I think they open from Wednesday.
Do they?
because I booked it for next weekend for my boyfriend's birthday.
Okay.
He does know I'm not ruining the surprise. That's fine, just in case he watches this.
What I was going to say was that it was the best burger he's ever had apart from the lineup.
Of course. Sorry.
I mean,
that was goes without saying, doesn't it?
I mean, the lineup can be made all vegan, so it's automatically better. But And then we've had another question, which is, let me find it now. Can you work for the uni in first year? If so, how do we find out about the opportunities?
Yes, you can. You can be a, what they're called, student ambassador, or a school ambassador as well. So if you want to be like your school specific, so like on open days and things like that, you will go and like speak to students and parents and show people around and all that kind of stuff, and you get paid really, really well.
Yeah, true. I think they're advertised through your school. I was a school ambassador. I can't remember how I found out about it, but Bailey is correct. It is good pay.
And you get free lunch.
It's definitely worth looking into. We've had another question about the venues. So what is your favourite?
See, I don't know now, because it was Swan, because you used to not be able to get mozzarella sticks in Towers, but now you can. So now I'm very, very torn.
Towers will always be my favourite, I think.
See, for me, it depends. Like, I'd always go, if I was on campus, I'd go to all of them, to be honest. Towers is great if you've been in the library and you've sort of lost the will to live, because you can just hop over to Towers, which is next door, get a drink, get some food and refresh yourself. Whereas the Swan is great for if you've got an hour break and you've got 2 lectures in Minerva. You go to the Swan, you get a drink, you get £3 for £5 sides, and you share it with a couple of your friends.
Yeah, I had a really bad presentation once. I did really bad, and I just, like, when you just don't have the words and you're like, nothing comes out, and had a really bad presentation. Then I just went straight to the Swan and was like, I'll have a cocktail, please. And it was like 4 p.m.
See, in my third year, we had a lecture in Minerva at 12 and a lecture in Minerva at 2. So, and this was on a Monday, so our Monday ritual was to go to Swan, get a drink, get some food, do a little bit of work, and then go back to our lecture. But I'm biased. Barge will always be my favourite.
It is the best cocktails. It's very good.
And 2 for £10.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Exactly. We don't have any more questions, but do you two have any bits of advice that you would give?
Join things.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. Get involved. I regret not getting involved in my first year, and it's probably one of my biggest regrets of uni. So get involved from day one and just start enjoying Lincoln.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you, Ethan, for joining us, and thank you for anyone who watched. If anyone has any more questions, you can contact us through the main pages, or you can talk to your student leaders specifically on their social medias. Our social medias for Instagram are just ULSU followed by our title. So Bailey is ULSU campaigns, I'm ULSU wellbeing, and so on and so on. And we also all have Twitter, which is exactly the same, but it's ULSU _ and then our title, just to make things a little bit confusing. But thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all very soon.